Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Hit Start to Play podcast. It's your boy, the king of the simps, Big Man Jack, and I'm with my co-host as usual.
Good morning, afternoon, evening. I hope you're keeping safe wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm Ben. Quick announcement. It is actually snowing. Yeah, it's been snowing for the past 2 days, and it's getting a bit.
Can't open my front door.
Yeah, get the shovel, mum.
That's not true at all.
No, it's not that bad. But a couple of announcements. We currently, as of recording this on the 8th of February, we have 1 week left on our Discord Nitro giveaway.
Yes, sir.
So make sure to check the Twitter down below to enter that. And we recently hit 100 followers on Twitter, so thank you very much for that.
Big ups to you boys.
Yeah, but let's
and
get
females
cracking.
actually.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and females. Yeah,
checking our analytics, and we actually have a decent female audience, which is odd. You know, listening to us
voices.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's crack on. We've got a bit of news, and a lot of it is sort of insider. Yes, it's sort of Monopoly news. We start off with Embracer Group, which formerly most of you will know these as THQ Nordic, have purchased Gearbox for $1.3 billion. I think Gearbox only really do Borderlands really nowadays.
Just an amendment to that. The 1.3 is across 6 years if they reach all their targets, which is Borderlands, so probably will. So
yeah, I would imagine.
A lot of money, man. A lot of money.
You're essentially buying Borderlands there for 1.3 billion.
Good purchase, I think.
Yeah, so Embracer are still allowing 2K to publish Borderlands, so I'm not sure how money's going to work out in terms of obviously like getting paid from that, but
maybe they're writing this film. Maybe that's what they're hoping for.
I don't actually know if they've got anything to do with that. If the game like 2K or anything has anything to do with that, but
no,
maybe writers. So. But I'm not a clue. No. Speaking of Monopoly, EA have purchased Codemasters, I believe is the company name, the publishers of Dirt and the F1 series for $1.2 billion, and have sort of not promised, but they've kind of strived to release a new racing game every year. And this is a bit spooky.
I mean, one thing I want to add is, where's my 1.2 billion? Who's going to hook me up?
Yeah, can someone just buy us for 1.2 billion?
People, apparently these companies are just happy to throw billions and billions everywhere, like every week. I'm sure we break a story and say, look, so and so has bought so and so.
It's happened
at
least once. Like, yeah, every time.
The problem is it's EA, so it's going to be a racing game, but you're going to have to buy one tire with microtransactions, otherwise you're going to have 3. Or something.
Yeah. One racing game a year as well for Dirt and F1. It seems a bit like I mean,
there is already one with F1 in there.
Yeah, but that's not EA.
No.
And look how like EA's yearly releases app come out. They always end up broken. So I don't know. I don't think this is a good thing, but only time will test with that.
Yes.
Sony has confirmed it is currently losing money on the PS5.
Are you surprised?
I think, I know there's been shortages of materials and parts, but
even still, it's Sony.
Yeah, it's for a massive mega company like that that usually top sort of charts in terms of console sales. It's the release has been a bit of a mess.
Yeah, agreed. They like I just said, they dropped the ball this year.
Definitely.
It was a terrible release. Not the console. The console's fantastic, but the way they released it is it's poor.
Yeah, and they'll have stock eventually, but who knows when
the PS6 comes out? Possibly.
It's like, Mum, I got a PS4. Oh no,
PS6 announced.
It's like, we'll see what happens with this. I do hope that they do get it sorted and manage to get frequent stock out. That's not just getting kind of scalped, but for now, we'll see. The student who, obviously, for a little bit of context, if you are on social media, you know about the GameStop drama with stocks that's been happening.
Bit bad.
It's a bit of this situation where rich people are like, if you're poor, just invest your money. So everyone's like, yeah, go on then, and then they do, and then rich people are like, hang on, no, stop.
Please, you're making my stock go lower. Don't.
So there is a student who did make quite a lot of money on these stocks, and he has donated every single penny on Nintendo Switches for children's charity, which is very nice.
My guy.
Very nice.
He is the one. That just gives hope to 2021. That's a big move. I rate that.
Very similarly to the Ghost of Tsushima thing, where they all pitched in. It's a nice bit of news in an otherwise pretty poop week for news. Yeah. And speaking of poop, Bethesda's founder and CEO, has sadly passed away at the age of 73. Wow. Responsible for leading Bethesda through some great times with Fallout and the Elder Scrolls franchise. Yes. You will be missed.
Yes, sir.
Onto some games before we get on to sort of the biggest news. If you're an anime fan, which I know a lot of you will be, The Last Airbender, I've never seen, I've never watched Avatar, like the anime or anything before.
I'm sorry, I've got to come out here and say that I have watched the cartoon on Nickelodeon when I was a kid, and it's like low-key bagging, so, I rate this.
I don't think I've ever watched this. I might have watched like one or two, but it's not for me.
He controls all the elements, man.
Does he control them all? I ain't got a clue how it works. Yeah, I know you get like firebenders and stuff and earthbenders.
He like learns them all. It's sick. And sorry,
because that's what the League character is based on. I can't even remember her name. The girl, the woman that can she floats around on a big rock and makes big walls and stuff.
Talia,
that's it.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was based off of something from this. But there's a tabletop RPG that has been announced. Couldn't actually find who is developing this. It might be out now. But if you're interested in that, for me, it's an RP. It's a JRPG anime, like tabletop, so it's turn-based. I'll be giving it a pass. But
your favorite?
My absolute all-time favorite genres. I'll be giving this a pass, but it does look quite promising for those who like that. I'd probably it seems alright. Like with tabletop, does that mean? Because that could mean many different things. Does that mean it's going to be like Gwent from The Witcher 3, which don't at me was better than the game?
I don't know. I'm going to stay out of that one.
No, not a clue. But if you're interested, there you go. One that is, I think it's gone a bit under the radar, considering how popular these games were, is Skate 4. Skate, with a franchise that kind of took over from Tony Hawk's and kind of sort of paved the way after Tony Hawk's pro skater games kind of died down.
Yeah.
Skate kind of took the realms.
People have been going mad for Skate 4 for a long time.
It's a very hyped game and very requested game, and finally looks like it is happening.
Now it just needs to not stink, because if it stinks, then good luck to the developers, mate. That's what I'm saying.
It's good. I think it's good timing. Well, it's EA, I'm pretty sure, actually.
Well.
So I'm pretty sure this has come because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the remake, has recently released in the past year. So. Yeah, I definitely it was solid. I don't think it was did badly or anything. So I think it's kind of brought a bit more excitement for the sort of skateboarding sort of genre again.
Yes.
So Skate 4 is a pretty decent one to go for that. Now Spider-Man Miles Morales, who I can't remember, is it Insomniac that makes them? I believe it is.
It is.
Has made $4.1 million in sales in 2 months. Now this sounds like a lot.
Not a lot.
But if you compare that to The Last of Us 2's 4 million, Final Fantasy VII Remake's 3.5 million, Spider-Man's 3.3 million, and God of War's 3.1 million in 3 days. So
I'll tell you what it is, right? So Miles Morales, for anyone that's, I think I was considering buying it, right? The only reason why I didn't is because I found out that it's only about 20 hours worth of gameplay.
A lot of people are saying it's DLC.
Why am I spending like 60 quid on 20 hours of gameplay? Like, I could run around my garden for 20 hours and probably have a better time. And I've saved myself 20 quid or 60 quid.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
me.
That's what I've heard as well. It's more. It should have just been DLC.
Yeah, I agree with that. It should have been an expansion on the Spider-Man game that was released last, and not a standalone game. I think that's probably would have done better as well, I reckon.
I think they needed to kind of merge Spider-Man and the Avengers as well, because the games aren't currently sort of merged.
Probably
it's
interesting.
A strange one.
Yeah.
But I get it, because Miles Morales is very popular.
Yes.
Very popular as a character, and I do think he will emerge in the MCU as well.
It's a black Spider-Man. Like, it's taken like a character like Spider-Man has been forever like the stereotypical white American boy, and changed it up.
I'm not sure how old Miles Morales is as an actual character. I think he's quite old. I think he was
I feel like he's only a teenager though, because I feel like in the film.
No, I don't mean actual age. I mean, how long? When did Stan Lee create him?
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I don't actually know how old he is. His origins are. I know. Yeah, he's only a kid. In that animated film that they did was really good. The Spider-Verse and in Miles Morales.
Enter the Spider-Verse, isn't it called?
Yeah, it's a fantastic film.
That's where that Post Malone song come from.
Yes, right, with that's it. Yeah, no, but so not a lot of sales, but I think there's multiple things into this. I think a lot of people were probably waiting for PS5, and obviously because it is more or less a next gen game.
They've got PS4 are like gold nuggets at this point.
Yeah, but I'll pick it up when it's cheaper. I won't be spending 60, 70 quid on it though.
Not especially not for 20 hours worth of gameplay.
Nah, not at all. But the big news now: Valve are being sued over some unfair price handling of its sort of clients. I don't know what you would call them. Companies that sell under Steam.
I would assume clients would be the right word.
Yeah, I guess sort of clients. Unfair price handling to avoid them going elsewhere, so keeping prices of games high. And I mean, this is obviously not a good thing that Valve are doing this.
No.
But where's the competition? Yeah, but where's the competition on PC?
True.
For games.
True.
They've been able to get away with this, I think, for so long. It's like, who else are you going to buy your games off on PC? Like what G2A? Like Epic Game Store. It's not.
It's because Steam's the biggest like platform, isn't it? Like it just
is. There's no one setting price compare.
No.
Here, like so they can just get away with it.
Because where else are you going to get it from?
It's like if you don't have consoles and you play PC, which is a lot of people do.
Yes.
Then 9 times out of 10 you have Steam.
Microsoft Store. That's where you need to be.
Do they have their own like PC store?
I have absolutely no idea.
I would imagine. I bet you they do.
I would assume so. But
a lot of their games are on Steam. I would imagine still.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know about this. It's not good practice from a company that was before recognized as one of the last good ones. But I understand.
Money's got
this. Yeah.
You know, this is what it is, I suppose. I mean, I think that's the price of gaming, like PC gaming. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that is the news for this week. Tune in next week for some more. And for something we wanted to talk about. No. Yeah, just unsubscribe below.
Just skip that part. Just go on to the next bit.
But so what we want to talk about today, bit similar to last week where we talked about video game movies. This time we're going to be talking about video game sequels, and similarly to the opinion that the majority, I believe, have about video game movies being kind of awful.
They stink.
Yeah, they really stink. The mass opinion again, I think, for a lot of things, films, games, is that the video game sequels, film sequels, again, are not necessarily bad, but not as good as the originals.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about this, listing some of our favorite and not so favorite sequels to kind of disprove and prove this argument, and then we'll move on to games that maybe we would like to see have a sequel.
Yes.
I've spoke for quite a while, so I'll let you begin.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, no one wants to hear that. No, I'm joking.
No one wants to hear my voice for an hour straight.
I mean, to be fair, you could just take the floor, and I could just sit here and like be like, yeah.
I don't think I could. I couldn't hear my own voice for an hour straight. I think I'd
How do you
just
think
cry.
I feel when I edit the thing? For anyone that's interested, it's like, honestly, when I edit these podcasts, because I edit and he does the research, right? So I realize I'm going on a tangent here, but whatever. Like, I just have to sit there and listen to my own voice for an hour. And I don't know about you, but if you listen to your own voice for even like 5 seconds, you'll just want to curl up into a ball and cry. So
horrid.
But you know,
it's the same when I find the clips for each episode as well. I have to sit and watch through it, and I'm just sitting there wanting to just cry.
I'm just like, no, no.
Does anybody know what the point is? Asking for a friend.
Right. Anyway, back on topic. Right. So, do you know what? We're gonna start. I think we should start on a negative first, so we can build up to the positive.
Specialty. Right, let's do this.
Yeah, I enjoy being negative. Because then we can lead and we can end on a positive note, right? I'm smart like that. Right. So I'm starting off with a big one here. Well, it's not really a big one. But Guitar Hero.
All right.
So up until number 3, banging games, songs, you feel like a rock star, mate. You're proper going for it, head banging, going, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the next one comes out, which I think is World Tour.
Oh no, yeah, I played that one.
Did they release the drums with that one as well? I think that
no, don't think so. Oh, actually, they might have done. I don't know.
I think they did with World Tour.
Can't remember.
And I had it on. Yeah, stinky, mate. No,
it wasn't good. No,
the songs on it just didn't feel like Guitar Hero.
There was one good song, and it was that "Live It on a Prayer."
Oh God, Bon Jovi.
That was the one good song in the whole game. And
yeah, no, I rate that. But what went wrong?
Everything.
They just gave up and started putting like pop punk songs on there, which isn't. Pop punk's fine, but it's Guitar Hero, man. Like, I want to be like head banging to some heavy songs and pretending like I know how to play the guitar.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I just, that was
disappointment.
Very disappointing.
My probably biggest one is if anybody play video games, I believe early 90s, I'd like to say early mid 90s, you may have played Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh yeah.
Really popular, it was fun for its very simple and sort of comical style, where it was sort of your typical sort of platforming collectathon like Mario 64 and games like of the such.
Yeah.
Cult classic series, and then they got bought. I believe it was Rare, got bought by Microsoft, and things started to go a bit downhill. And a game was announced for the Xbox 360, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Everyone was really excited, thinking we were about to get the third game in this franchise. And then the game came out, and there were tears. They had somehow turned it into sort of like a racing game where you had to build your own cars instead of a platform collector.
Well, like Little Big Planet, we have to build your own cars.
It's like you get like with Nuts and Bolts, you get all like materials and stuff.
Oh,
and you can like build your own cars and stuff. And it is a racing game that it wasn't like terrible in terms of like technological.
Yeah, but as an anticipation for a sequel.
It shouldn't have been a Banjo-Kazooie game, not a chance.
What actual animal is Banjo-Kazooie?
He's a bear.
Is he a bear?
Yeah.
I was trying to picture him in my head. I was like,
sure, he's a bear with a banjo.
What's Banjo's got to do with bear?
Because I don't know, he just plays a banjo.
I love that.
There's Tui as well.
No,
Tui is a little bird.
Right. See, I've never played the game. I've never played the series. I just know of Banjo-Kazooie, and I know that everyone loves it. It looks fun.
Banjo's the bear, and then Kazooie's the red bird, and then Tui, who was introduced in the second game, is like I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Tui as a character, but it wasn't fantastic game still. But Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was just disappointment.
Well, I've got, right, I think a lot of people are going to agree with me here. Kingdom Hearts, right? First one, banging. Second one, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. Third one, no. Just why bother? Why bother? Like, the, the series was good. Like, I mean, I'm a big Disney fan, so I was happy.
Same.
You know, perfect combination of, the combat and everything, storyline, really good. You get attached to the characters, fantastic. And then number 3 comes out, and I was gassed to buy it. All right, bought it. I don't think I've even got past the Toy Story level. I can't be asked. I'm just like, what is this?
Like, I'm pretty sure. It. Like, sorry, the fan right. sort of reaction to Kingdom Hearts over the years. The first one comes out, it's like, oh my god. Second one comes out, oh. Third one comes out, oh no. It just gets worse.
Do you know what's even worse? I'm actually looking at the case right now and I'm fuming. Like, I could just see Kingdom Hearts 3 out of the corner of my eye and I just want to throw something. It's just disappointment.
I've never. Is the Incredibles in them in Kingdom Hearts 3?
I wouldn't know. I haven't got far enough. I think so. Monsters Inc.'s in it though, so you got big old Sullivan.
Apparently, it's literally like a 2-minute level though.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, the Toy Story level lasts forever. They must just love Toy Story or something.
They're just milking it.
Yeah, and then
the good levels, just nothing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and I don't know. I thought that first one, as I said, was incredible. Second one, I still liked it. I thought it was really good. I liked Twilight Town, the main hub, was really cool. And then you get to play as Roxas and all sorts. Really, really cool for me. Third one, just chuck it in the bin, mate. Like, there's no need. Like, you should have just left it at number 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Even the DS game was better. There's a DS game version of it.
Yeah,
even that was better. The number 3, I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. But even that one was better than Kingdom Hearts 3.
But similarly to sort of, I don't know, what's the style of Kingdom Hearts? Animated games, I guess, or like cartoonish.
Yeah, I guess so.
And moving on even further back to 2D, Super Mario Bros. 2.
Okay.
Now, this isn't something I played until I was a bit older, as I didn't have an NES growing up. But this is a widespread sort of opinion on this, so this is just a shambles, because I think this game was a trick on sort of Western, the Western branch of gaming kind of only just started coming out. It was very much a Japanese thing with Nintendo and beforehand. And Super Mario Bros. 2 was essentially they took a game, I can't remember, Doki Doki Panic, I think it was, and it was literally just reskinned with characters, just Mario and other characters. It didn't have sort of any connection to any Mario game. And I cannot believe that a company like Nintendo thought they could kind of just pull a fast one and just literally reskin a whole other game.
You know what? I rate that. I'm sorry.
Like, I understand it was like, what, 80s, early 90s at latest. But, like, come on.
The audacity.
The same company that not that many years later would make games like Ocarina of Time. We're sitting there reskinning other games.
That's incredible. That's literally like me just going, oh, here's my homework, and just like here's my mate's homework, just crossing the name out and writing my name at the bottom of it.
Literally. I think it's a good reminder that bad games can happen to anybody.
Oh yeah. No one's
no one's going to be perfect. No one's from software. I mean, what? Not going to pull that one and start creating wars, but
no, please don't.
But I think, that one's just, it just makes me angry.
I'll tell you what, right? I got an interesting one here that I don't know if anyone will ever agree with me, but Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Oh my God.
The one on the Wii, the first one, that was the one. That was so much fun.
I completely forgot it existed.
Yeah, mate. Like Mario and Sonic, like two of my fate. Like, I mean, I'm not too keen on Mario, admittedly, but like Sonic and that, for me, I was like, yes, mate. Put together, sports, fun for everyone.
Yeah, it was very fun, to be fair.
And then they kept making them. We're like, right, no, we get it. The events don't change, so why are you still making them? Like, I might be wrong. I don't watch the Olympics, so I don't know. But I'm under the impression that most of the events stay the same.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
It's not like you're changing the characters. Like, even if you are changing the characters, what's the why? Why'd you keep making them? Like, they're just changing the location. Like, you got Mario and Sonic in the Winter Olympics.
The winter, yeah, I do remember that because that wasn't very good.
Right, so now I can just ski your Sonic. Like, thank you. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, that, yeah, no, there's not really much else to be said about that.
No, I don't think so. It's fun games, but yeah, they don't. It's milking it again because it's like the first time Mario and Sonic in the same place. Like, blasphemy.
How dare they?
But moving on to one of mine, and I'm 99% sure you won't even know what this is. Perfect Dark Zero.
I know what that is.
Oh my god.
I know. Your boy is cultured.
The original Perfect Dark, I think we could all agree, is one of the best first-person shooters ever made.
Interrupt quickly. Do you want to know how I know?
How?
Because the record for the I think it's like Perfect Asian, one of the levels was just broken as a speed run.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never played it. I don't know. I just know about
very similar GoldenEye.
Yes.
007. So like, I think it could definitely be considered one of the best first-person shooters of its generation, if not of all time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about
definitely trailing closely behind GoldenEye, of course. It was very good plot, very good gameplay, and it immersed you really well. That kind of gave it just a perfect combination, excuse the perfect pun, of a good first-person shooter. Super cool. But so they released or announced firstly the sequel on the Xbox 360, Perfect Dark Zero. And I think the problem that when it eventually came out was, although at its time, and the same problem I think would happen with GoldenEye if it were re-released now, is although at the time they were absolute technological like marvels and were for sure like the grandfathers of the FPS genre, it felt very sort of dated, and it didn't feel like by the time it's released you had Call of Duty, Halo,
you had something
Gears of War,
better to play sort of.
Yeah, and it felt dated, and it couldn't really keep up, I don't think, with the newer generation of shooters. But it was a letdown. It was for sure a letdown.
That's why sometimes things just don't need to be made.
Yeah. But
next one is a good example of that, is Ratchet and Clank. The first one on the PS2, I thought was a masterpiece. That I love that game. The story, the way you played the game, like the mechanics of the game, the characters, the light, like the not vocals. What's the word?
Voice acting.
Yeah, the voice acting in it, and all the lines and stuff. I thought I in my opinion, I mean, I'm probably biased because that was one of the first games on PS2 I ever played. But like a beautiful game. And then they just kept, again, like Mario and Sonic, they just kept making it. And the story just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Although, I will say, I do want to play the new one when it finally comes out.
The Rift Apart. Or
yeah.
It's called, yeah.
But there is a point where you got to stop making them. Like, give it a rest. The only other good one was, I think it was called Ratchet and Clank Gladiators or something. I can't remember. It was on PS2.
Not a clue.
And it was like you'd have to level up. Like you were in arenas and you just have to battle and stuff. That was quite cool. But that was nothing to do with it. So I wouldn't classify that as a sequel. That was just kind of like a spin-off version almost.
Yeah.
But like the main storyline of Ratchet and Clank, I don't even know where it's at now. Like the first one, they should have just been done with it. It should have been one of those ones that's just a one-hit wonder. And that's it. I think.
No, I've never been a huge fan of Ratchet and Clank, so I don't know. But does this have the same problem that I feel Crash Bandicoot has, where there's a ton of games, but kind of Neo Cortex is kind of the only villain that is worthy of being in all of them. Yeah, and no,
absolutely.
Not for me.
You got just these one set of characters, and I think it's Doctor Nefarious.
Yeah, Doctor. I do know that. Yeah.
And I know for a fact in the other ones you fight him again and again and again. You know, just give it a rest. Like you kill him in the first one, or whatever.
I think he became a robot, didn't he?
Yes.
Like the second one, and then
yeah,
it's the same problem with Crash.
Yeah, it's an example of taking a franchise too far, or like trying to keep it alive, but ruining it in the same breath. I think.
I mean, there is obviously examples of this that, like Mario with Bowser.
Yeah.
And they're obviously games that have succeeded for 40 odd years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get where you're coming from.
Yeah. But yeah.
My final one for the stinky ones, and this is a game that I personally looked forward to when this was announced, was Duke Nukem Forever.
Okay.
Duke Nukem, a 90s game, very similar to Doom and Wolfenstein, like the old school. And it was one of the sort of first person shooter games that grew a pretty big following for its sort of edgy sort of style, very sort of gritty and gory, and Duke Nukem being a badass basically.
Right.
And in 2011, I like to say, I could be wrong. No, it was. I know it was a 15-year gap from the 90s, so I know it was somewhere around 2010, 11.
Be a good guess, I guess.
Duke Nukem Forever released for Xbox 360 and all that lot. And I think the game, like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, the game was awful.
That was a good guess, by the way, 2011.
Was it actually?
Oh, yeah, wow. It was.
And I think the problem is, again, similar to Perfect Dark, the sort of aura of Duke Nukem it hasn't aged well. And it's a game that feels sort of stuck in the 90s, and it's got jokes in it that are very old. Like they worked in the 90s, but not really in these days.
Like modern humor.
It doesn't really work out. And I think it was a sequel. If this had come out in the 90s, absolutely. But I think it was 15 years too late.
Right.
And it was ruined for it. And I don't think we'll ever see another Duke Nukem thing, like standalone game again.
Must admit, I've never been interested in Duke Nukem.
It's just like childish sort of humor that in the 90s it's great. Like one where there's the first thing you could do in the game, you just sit there, you just play with poo. It's like you can literally just go to the toilet and play with poo. And it's like,
oh my god.
It's just it's that type of game that I don't think nowadays works. Humor like that is just kind of changed.
That's for God's sake.
Yeah, it's that type of game, but yeah, that was a letdown.
Okay.
That's my last stinky one.
Well, I've got one more.
Go for it.
And it is Saints Row.
Oh.
Up until number 3, they were fun, and then number 4 was it number 4 when there's aliens? I can't remember. I think it was.
Yes, because you got superpowers.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like these are like what would have been like stereotypical gangsters, and now all of a sudden I'm superhuman. Sorry.
Yeah, you became president and you had superpowers and things.
What?
Like, it wasn't great.
I don't really have much to say in this, but it was like it's obviously like an alternative to GTA in it, really, like the same sort of game. And then all of a sudden they try and put their own spin on it and give you superpowers. More
sort of comical GTA, it did go a bit weird.
Run around and slap people with a giant purple dildo.
Yeah, things like that. It was a more comical sort of chilled out version of GTA, and then it kind of went sci-fi.
All of a sudden, I'm a big man with like superpowers, and then Johnny Gat Out of Hell or whatever it was. You're in hell.
Wait, really?
It's literally the game reskinned to hell. You know, like, no wonder it was free on PlayStation.
Yeah, nah.
I wouldn't pay for it.
No, I think the franchise. We haven't heard anything of Saints Row for a long time.
They would very much doubt we ever will, to be honest.
Maybe one day. I think if we do, it'd be remasters.
Yes, which I'm down for, as long as they keep like the
like Saints Row 3 remaster did well.
The fun part, you know.
But They need to remake 2. I think that's the best one, personally.
That's THQ, isn't it? Actually,
I have not a clue. Possibly.
Yeah. It was published by THQ, but yeah.
Okay.
We'll see about that. See if they actually do anything with it.
Yeah. But moving away from the stink and going into the ones that we feel show that maybe the majority opinion of all sequels not being as good as the first, being maybe wrong. Maybe not wrong, but
wrong.
Just maybe being sort of a slightly skewed opinion. And first one I have, this is a series of games that I feel have just got better and better, is Uncharted.
Okay.
Uncharted 1 came out very similar, like you can tell it's based off of like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, very similar style. But it kind of had sort of cover shooter sort of mechanics with it that were similar to what were the games that kind of pioneered it? God of War, Gears of War.
God of War.
I think.
That well-known shooter, God of War.
Kratos has just had enough. Starts pulling out
a Glock.
But I think it was a mixture of games that came out very well.
Okay.
But the first game was slightly limited. And I feel every single one, the story has just improved from each game, and the technological standpoints of the games has improved with each coming game. So one of the launch it was the first sort of massive exclusive, I think, for the PS4.
Right.
Other than
because they released like a PS4, like an Uncharted PS4.
Yeah, I would probably. But I know other than maybe Bloodborne, I think this was like one of the first big exclusives, and it was, I think at the time, Uncharted 4 was probably the best looking game ever made, for sure.
Okay.
And it was kind of the first game that really showed off what like next gen consoles, PS4 namely, could do. But
I mean, I think I've played. What one was free?
They all have been, I believe.
Maybe the third one, fourth one, something like that. It was alright. I mean, didn't play it too much, but I rate it.
Yeah, they're very good games. I think they're very popular, and I don't know. I mean, I believe there is rumors. We did mention this on a previous episode that
of the movie,
and an Uncharted game looks likely to be coming. So
should be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one. What do I start with? Okay, I'm going to leave one of the big boys, but I'm going to start with Burnout.
Okay.
I think, well, up until Burnout 3, and then for me it went a bit downhill. But I would say the first 3, like the main 3, would be like really good sequels. Like
I played 3 a lot.
Burnout Takedown was a masterpiece.
Was 3 Paradise?
No, Burnout 3 Takedown was the third one.
Oh, was it Takedown?
Then it was Paradise.
Yeah, I only played up to Paradise, so I don't know anything other than
they remastered Paradise.
Yeah.
I can't really comment too. I did play Paradise. I did really enjoy it. So, admittedly, you know, all of the Burnout games up until I guess Paradise. I can't really think if there were any after that. But
yeah, I believe there is. I'm sure like Retribution was one or something. There's a few, I think.
Kind of ruined it after that. But yeah, up to Burnout 3 Takedown. I don't know if anyone else has ever played that, but Burnout 3 Takedown was the one. That was such a fun game. Like, perfect racing game, in my opinion. And if they remastered that, I think I'd cry.
Yeah.
I think I would have a full-on breakdown, I think. But yeah. Apparently so. That come from the heart. Jesus.
I hear that sort of tearing up there in your voice.
I said that with chest. Burnout. I think it just got better and better with time, and better each game. So I think that's a good example.
So my next one is very sort of, for me, these are some of my favorite games going. I think these are the best superhero games ever made, and that's Batman Arkham City.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Asylum came out, and it was sort of I think it changed superhero games forever.
Okay.
I think
I do like Batman games. I will give you that, actually.
Yeah, it completely revolutionized. Like the combat system in the Arkham games has been copied by many others
Combat system's great.
since. Yeah, like its Spider-Man combat system is very similar. It's been done many times after this because of how fluid it actually is.
It feels good to fight.
If you could get a really good combo going, it feels nice.
Yeah, and 100% agree with that.
Open world Batman game with all your favorite, like the Joker, Bane, all of them, Scarecrow,
the question mark geezer, I can't remember what his name is.
The Riddler.
That's the one.
Yeah, you had all of the fantastic story.
Yes.
But like in most games in the first series, the game was slightly limited. It's older. You were kind of prohibited to Arkham Asylum and the island of Arkham.
Yeah, they haven't got the technology to build.
No. And I don't think they expected it to be as big as a success as it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So Arkham City came out. Don't remember what year. I'm trying to remember because it came out alongside Skyrim the same year, so 2013, I think.
2011 come out.
Oh, okay. Oh, earlier than I thought then.
Arkham City, yeah.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, that is right. So Arkham City came out, and it was virtually the same game that carried on the story direct sequel, but it was more open, it was bigger, there was more, but not too much. Not like, in my opinion, Arkham Knight, the third game in the season, did a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
This was a perfect amount, I think, of open, without it just being open, but like nothing there. There was constantly stuff happening.
Right.
And I think it gave people their first real sort of chance to be sort of Batman. And it cemented, I think, Rocksteady, as I think anyway, like the kings of superhero video games. I think they're better than the Spider-Man ones.
Oh, I mean, that's a big statement.
I've always been sort of with superheroes. I think
Marvel.
When I was younger, I've always liked Batman individually for DC, but I prefer Marvel as a whole. So
imagine if Batman joined Marvel, you'd.
The thing is though with it, he's just a geezer in a suit with gadgets. That's the thing. He's not like, he wouldn't be able to compare. And this is a problem with, like, we're getting off on a tangent, but this is the problem with like why you can't really have like the Injustice games, for example, to make it more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have to scale that so every character is sort of balanced, but it's not like realism goes out the window. Obviously, when you're talking about superpowered gods, but when you have like one random geezer who's just really rich.
But then you've got, in Marvel, you've got
Iron Man is obviously like that, yeah. But I suppose. But Iron Man again is more like someone could like genuinely be Batman. It's a guy in a suit that just he knows how to fight. Yeah. Whereas Iron Man is obviously like very hyper futuristic suit and things. And
yeah, that's true. On that note, I'm becoming Batman. So if anyone needs help.
Yeah, this is the last episode because we're busy becoming superheroes. But yeah, I think that's all for that one.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going with an old classic, and when I mean old classic, I used to play these on my Windows 95 computer on a disc that used to take up the entire hard drive, and this is Age of Empires. Stereotypical like Command and Conquer. You know what kind of games they are, right?
Yeah, strategy.
Yeah, strategy. That's the word I was looking for. Why could I not? I don't know where my brain is today. It's just not.
I think I've only played Age of Empires 3. I don't play the others.
Oh, Age of Empires 2 was fantastic because there was a cheat that you could use. You could turn all your horses into cars, and these cars had rocket launchers. It was so much fun.
God.
But that I think that is one of those ones that's like, because the first one come out, I don't know, it was a
very long time
ago. They're going to get better with age. Okay, so Age of Empires 1 was released in 1997. So, for me, they just got better and better because maybe it's the technological advances and stuff, but they were able to add stuff into it. The AI become a lot more intelligent.
Yeah, the AI do get better with time.
It wasn't like you were fighting, pinatas or something. It was like, oh, okay, these are actually giving me a challenge. But yeah, for me, Age of Empires, I think, good examples of games just getting better and better. And then obviously with the Age of Empires 3, I think it was, or whatever.
Yeah, that's the one I've played.
They could add expansions and stuff, which then adds to the game. So in essence, that makes it better.
I think it's moddable as well.
Yeah, so there you go. So I think that's a good example of a game that's just got better and better.
For sure.
Whether that's age or not, I don't know, but definitely
possible.
Up there.
Yeah, they're good strategy games. Can't argue with that at all. Yeah. Next one for me, sticking with 2011, is Portal 2.
I think you just like 2011.
I mean, Skyrim, Arkham City, like Portal. It was a good year for games. I think it just happened, and some of those were sequels.
Take me back to 2011.
Yeah, let me play Skyrim again, please. But like Portal 1 came out, and it was a very small sort of. It was released from Valve. I don't even know if it was its standalone game. I think it came with the Orange Box collection originally, which was TF2, Half-Life 2, and Portal. I don't know if it was actually its standalone game originally. I think because it's very short, Portal 1. It's not like a full game.
Do not know, to be honest. I've only ever played Portal 2.
But Portal 1, I think one of the biggest reasons that this became such a success, obviously it's Valve and they know what they're doing, but I think this might be a big statement, probably will be, but I think a lot of people will agree that GLaDOS is probably the best video game villain ever in history. I think for me, I think she is, and that she definitely carried a lot of the first game.
Right.
And they came out with Portal 2, added a co-op mode, brought in Wheatley, voiced by Stephen Merchant, actually, very tall lad.
We gotta like Wheatley.
And added a bunch of new characters that were great. Added it was actually the two robots in co-op mode for Portal 2 came out as Fall Guys skins. And the game was bigger, there were more puzzles, there were more like new puzzle mechanics, the introduction of Wheatley. And one thing I really like that they did, and this actually got me in the feels when I first played this game, is they spoiler alert, they kind of do like a switcheroo where Wheatley becomes the villain and GLaDOS becomes sort of good. And
just been pranked.
Yeah, we just got this with the old Ruse Cruise and did the old switcheroo. And there's a point where, because in Portal 1, like we know that Aperture Science, the world of Portal, is linked to Half-Life.
Right.
You know the games are linked, but it's not like it's never like laid on thick or anything. Like there's mentions to like Black Mesa of Half-Life, but nothing direct. And as you're walking through, there's a point where you're doing a puzzle and Wheatley like collapses the floor and you fall down underground into the first Aperture Science ever built during like World War II. And there's a point where you're going through the old Aperture Science and Black Mesa labs, and GLaDOS gets upset looking at a picture of a woman, and it's like you find out that this woman was her once, and her sort of husband, I believe, it was his husband, or I think she was his secretary.
Right.
He was dying, and he wanted to find a way to like immortalize himself, but he couldn't do it in time, so he did it for her instead, and that's how she became GLaDOS that we know.
Okay.
And it's a really nice link that I think just added to the storyline. Obviously, Portal 1's the story wasn't too important. It was a puzzle game.
Wasn't it? So.
Yeah. But Portal 2, I think, added on every single aspect. And I think it's one of the perfect sequels, to be honest.
I mean, and, we forget that the cake is a lie. So
the cake is indeed a lie.
Yes. So, that's the last thing we could say about that. That's, it's not going back. The cake is in fact a lie. Right.
Confirmed.
Confirmed lie is cake. Anyway, I went with a big one.
Hang on,
here.
What? I just realized lie is cake.
Well, you know, switching it up. You know?
That's a clickbait title if I've ever seen one. Is the cake really a lie?
Is it? Today we discuss the cake and is it a lie?
Tangent.
The entire video is just, yep, it's a lie.
It's
All right, thanks for watching, boys. Right, next. Okay. So I went with the Call of Duty series, but specifically the Modern Warfares. So this probably is very unpopular because I know that people, every time they hear Call of Duty 4, they have some form of like mini stroke where all they feel is ecstasy and excitement. But don't at me. I think those games, especially the campaigns, maybe not the multiplayers, because that could be argued.
Yeah, they'll be here all day if we start going on that.
But I think the campaigns did admittedly get better. Like the stories were really,
so,
really good, getting on and on and on. And even into Modern Warfare as of recent. I'm not really too sure there's much of a link, but
no, it's a fresh start, and so it's similar.
Yeah, I would say that they banged it, mate. I think they've done really, really well. Like I said, campaigns. I just want to the campaigns.
Yeah, we won't get into the multiplayer just yet.
No, we'll be there forever.
Yeah.
I thought COD 4 campaign was really, really fun. Then Modern Warfare 2 come along. That was a really good campaign. And then I was thinking, is Modern Warfare 3 going to suck? And it didn't. So I think that's good. I think that's
why you mentioned the Modern Warfare 2019? One thing I liked with the campaign and what they've seemed to have done in that game is they've kind of added elements from all the Modern Warfares into one. So you got Zakhaev, obviously was introduced as a Warzone thing, but will be part of future stuff. You have Makarov makes an appearance or is spoken of, Kamarov as well, from all the kind of different ones, all kind of combining into one.
Yeah, so you almost don't forget about what's happened in the previous games.
Yeah, so it's like, we know the existence of Soap as well, and other characters that were there before. Nikolai as well is a big part of the campaign as well. So
you could argue that could be included in the sequel, I guess. But
if you're familiar with the games, for sure you could definitely class.
And that game was fantastic. That campaign was brilliant. I loved it.
I think that's probably the best one they've ever done.
I mean, admittedly, my opinion, it's not the same franchise. Like, well, it is the same franchise, but the Cold War campaign, obviously you haven't played it, but
no,
banging campaign, incredible, really, really, really good. Like, spot on. Great story, great depth, but that's obviously not related to Modern Warfare. But as Call of Duty as a whole, they're going the right way for campaigns. But Modern Warfare, good example for me, I think, as a sequel.
A good blend of old mixed with new characters like Alex and Farah.
Yes, keeping it fresh.
They gave
doing it the right way.
That extra oomph.
Yeah, not letting it just die, sort of thing.
Yeah. But sticking on first-person shooters, I'll get this one out of the way, is Halo 2.
Okay.
Now, it's arguable. It's arguable that this is better than the first one. Personally, I don't think it is, but I think they're very on par. I don't think you could argue one is better than the other. That's nothing against Halo 2. It's an absolute masterpiece for me. But I think it read like Halo Combat Evolved. They didn't expect it to be as big as it was, and Halo 2 revolutionized sort of that, I think, and added further. It took advantage of what they could do, and the Halo Combat Evolved campaign, although it's very good, the story isn't sort of like the main. The story's not 100% important. It's just your Master Chief and you kill things.
Was Halo 2 the one we used to play around your house?
I don't even remember now.
On the original Xbox.
It's probably Halo 1 to start with.
Probably, yeah.
I would imagine.
One of the missions, you're up in like you got to drive along something because it's all falling down.
It's Halo 1.
Halo
That's
1.
the last level of Halo 1,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Where the halo's blowing up and you got a time limit and
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
always used to drive us off the edge.
yeah, literally. But Halo 2 kind of revolutionized the story and made Halo a big sort of more storyline driven game.
Yeah.
Added a lot of long lasting characters like the Arbiter and the Gravemind, and sort of revolutionized, I think, the multiplayer aspect as well. Halo 1's multiplayer was very sort of limited.
I didn't even realise that was Halo 1 multiplayer.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was definitely kicked off sort of the franchise as a multiplayer franchise, with sort of being the father for Call of Duty.
It wasn't Halo 3 or anything.
Like Halo 3, I think, came out, like Call of Duty 4, I'm sure was already released by this point. So
Yeah.
But Halo 2
so.
kind of added, and it was a much more sort of wider spectrum on the multiplayer scale. There's a lot more you could do. And I think Halo 2 can be thanked for games like Call of Duty now being as big as they are.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. A lot of people say that Halo was like the grandfather, and now Call of Duty's like, the son that's taken over the family business.
Yeah, it's a long line. You've got like the great granddad's probably like Doom and
Quake.
Wolfenstein. Quake. The grandfather's going to be like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And then the father's probably Halo. And then the son the prodigal son is probably Call of Duty.
Yeah. Especially of our generation, anyway. I think, our generation, Call of Duty. I think you can't argue it is the biggest first-person shooter franchise. Like, I don't think you can argue that.
Yeah, first-person shooters, yeah, for sure. I think so.
Do you know what? We'll stick on first-person shooters. I've gone. CS:GO was a drastic improvement on CS Source.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to hate me for that, because the CS Source community is strong, but for me, CS:GO was just the improvements that CS Source needed to bring it into the modern era, and now CS:GO is just. I mean, I don't really know how many years it's been out now, but it's just getting from strength to strength, I think.
CS:GO.
2013 maybe.
Do you reckon? Maybe.
Yeah, it's just going strength to strength again. I don't know if that's because of the age and the ability to do different things.
Esports, I think, helps when that wasn't really a thing.
Huge in CS:GO. Yeah, I just think as in general, that is a good example in respect to CS Source. But yeah.
I think so. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. CS:GO, good game, to be fair.
Yeah, but moving away from first-person shooters to now third-person shooters, I have Mass Effect 2.
I think people are starting to realise that we like shooters. We gave that away.
Yeah, no, it's like it's pretty much been our life, like shooters, really.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
But they've always been there.
Yeah.
But Mass Effect, when that first released, was sort of, I'd say it's one of the first massive sort of open world sci-fi RPGs out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was obviously it was very big, but there wasn't as much choice. It wasn't as open. Second one came out, and I think this was a massive improvement over the first game. And I think you could really feel like a part of like the universe. You go to many different planets and galaxies in Mass Effect 2, and they all feel like they kind of matter and they exist within one. It all feels part of something. And like character choices mattered, and which means like replayability was a bigger thing.
That's
there were multiple different paths, and you could have a load of companions and followers, and they had loyalty missions that if you went through with your sort of companions' loyalty missions and gained their loyalty, they would come with you to the final battle and things like that. And I do think Mass Effect 2 is probably one of the best sort of sci-fi RPGs ever made.
So the only thing I've ever seen of Mass Effect was the eye scene, where the geezer gets his eye taken clean out.
Yeah.
That's about all I've seen of it. I've never.
Yeah, it's a bit grim.
Yeah, I've never really showed interest. I think sci-fi things aren't really my thing, so I tend to. But no, I mean, from what I've heard from different people and stuff, I think I could agree with your opinion there. Like, it's a popular franchise and it still seems to be doing well. I mean, I don't know how the new one did, but
Andromeda.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, but it's a prequel, though. I believe
okay.
Sure.
We'll ignore that one. But up until then, we're going good, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay. I've gone with Hitman. Probably one of the most relevant things in my life right now. I just bought the third one, and I think I've spent the last 3 days. I think collectively I've spent about 20 hours on the game.
Spicy.
I think we spent the entire weekend.
Yeah, we actually did. Yeah, just playing Hitman.
It's a difficult one because it's not like the story. It actually does come to a head in the third one, and there is a story to Hitman, surprisingly. But as a game, I think you can't really say it's not better than the previous two, purely because you get all the levels from the previous two with more
silly.
levels. So
yeah,
by definition, I guess technically that is better because you're getting more content. But even on the older levels, the game just feels a lot more smooth and a lot more streamlined. It's a lot more. I think visually it looks nicer, and the new levels, they're incredible. I really, really, really like them. So for me, Hitman, unfortunately, I think it's over now.
This trilogy, yeah, but they might.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this Hitman trilogy has just gotten better and better each game. And I can't really see anyone really disagreeing with that, to be honest.
No,
it's a difficult one to disagree with, purely. Like, again, you get Hitman 1 and 2 in 3. So
yeah,
maybe the price, but about that, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a big fan of Hitman, so I'd say that's up there for me.
One here for me. This is a prequel, not a sequel, but I'm gonna add it anyway, as it's the second game in the series, and this is in both for me, and that's like Red Dead 2.
I thought you were going to go Borderlands there, to be honest.
Oh, no, I didn't actually mention Borderlands. I didn't think of it until you just said it. And
I was thinking prequel. Oh, no.
But it is true, actually, with Borderlands. It could definitely be classed as one, but
yeah.
But Red Dead 2 has been both for me.
Yeah.
In terms of it being a good sequel, it Red Dead 2 for sure. As much as I personally don't get along with it, it is probably still the best looking and sounding game ever made.
Agreed.
And it's much bigger open world with, again, it has characters from the old game but adds into new characters.
Yeah.
And it is probably, like, in terms of that standpoint, yeah, it's for sure a good sequel. But I think that's what most people would go with. But my sort of
the story
quarrels,
a bit like...
my quarrels come with just the gameplay. For me, didn't suit me at all.
Yeah,
compared to how much I loved Red Dead Redemption 1, for me this is a downgrade.
Yeah, no, I think people agree with that. But again, like you say, I think it's hard to deny that it probably is a better sequel. Or like a better version of the first one.
Probably is, yeah. Like, if you're going to play one of them, I would probably play 2. Just because it's... I mean, it's first anyway, chronologically. But, yeah, still.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's set before the first one, isn't it?
Yeah. But, yeah, for me, that's about it. I'm not going to get into it too much, as we've spoken about this a few times. So,
yeah.
I'll leave that one.
Yeah. I've only got 2 more, so I don't know about you, but...
I've got one more.
Okay, I'm gonna go with The Sims for my next one.
Oh, baby.
I don't care. Anyone, you can at me as much as you like, but The Sims are good games, mate. They're so much fun. Like, I mean, admittedly, I'm a bit twisted. I like to just put them in rooms with ovens and just get rid of the doors and watch them burn.
Oh yeah, everyone's done that. You get a pool and then get rid of the ladder and just watch them drown.
But you see, The Sims 4, I think is great. I mean, the console port's a bit dodgy, but in terms of, again, like, it gets better with age because you get more packs, and You can mod number 4.
Yeah.
The mechanics of the game are better. But yeah, no, I think Sims, and that's strange coming from an EA game because.
Oh, I forgot it's all EA. Yeah,
it's EA
it's very true.
Praxis.
Yeah.
So for EA, I'm impressed. But yeah, no, I think Sims has definitely got to be up there. It's got to be a mention. You can't really. You can't really say that the other ones were better. I think it's just gone from strength to strength. It's just Sims, isn't it? It's daft games that people just play.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I've never really been a fan of the Sims, so I'll leave that one with you. But
yeah, that's just it for that. I think there's not really much to say about the Sims.
My last one is Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 1, again, similar story with Ubisoft. Not necessarily Ubisoft. Similar story with a lot of this list. Ubisoft, I don't think, expected this game to be as big as it was and start one of the longest franchises going now that's still active.
Yeah, somehow.
And Assassin's Creed 1 again, very similarly. Like there's a pattern here emerging that first games in these series are all quite limited in what you do, and the story in Assassin's Creed 1 was very sort of samey, where it'd be right, you got these 3 targets, cool, you've killed all those, now you got these 3 targets because they all lead to this guy and things like that, and it felt a bit arduous. And then Assassin's Creed 2 brought in Ezio, probably still the best character in the franchise.
Agreed.
Now brought you a lot more sort of choice and freedom with what you wanted to do. Brought you, I mean, the trilogy, the Ezio trilogy, probably the best storyline they've done since.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think there's a lot going on with Assassin's Creed 2 that is still being implemented now into the modern games,
which is good. Good that they keep the old ones alive.
Yeah, and this doesn't span across the whole series. I'm only including 2 here because the series has been up and down. Like you're at Fort Park, but Assassin's Creed 2 at least, like roller coaster.
No, I got that. But of all things,
it's just the first thing that came into my head. It was just like it broadened the sort of series and gave it new limitations that I think were. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can really say
that.
Against that, really.
Okay, the last one is Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, this one was difficult for me because
I originally had this in my list, but I removed it.
Disappointed. So obviously, my favorite game in the world is GTA San Andreas.
Yeah.
It's my favorite game, but it's not the best. I do think that GTA 5 is the best game in the series. And that is difficult because even GTA 4 was really good. But GTA 5 for me, just the story is just brilliant. Like the gameplay, brilliant. The map, brilliant. Everything about it. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't think they could improve on GTA 4 and San Andreas. I say that like gameplay of GTA 4 is really good, and the story for San Andreas is really good. And I thought they'd peaked, and they're just going to keep making the games. And you're just going to get the same old, reskinned rubbish, just set in a different place. And then they give us 3 characters with 3 separate stories that intertwine into one. Like,
they're all the mixing. Each character has their own sort of lives. One thing I like with that is when you switch characters, it's like the characters have been doing things while you're not playing as them as well.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
They have their own life.
Yeah, it feels like stuff's happening.
It feels more coexisting as opposed to just, right, I am now Michael and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm currently playing as Michael, but Franklin's doing his own thing and Trevor's doing his own thing. And I don't think you can really top that. I mean, GTA 6 should be interesting, and I think it's a good thing they're taking forever to work on it.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's going to take a lot to top GTA 5.
Yeah, I think if it weren't for the fact that The Last of Us came out in the same year, it would definitely have been Game of the Year.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I did have this. I had this in the list originally, and I got rid of it because I knew for a fact you would most likely have it. So I didn't want to talk about it twice. Fan. Yeah, so I got rid of it. But
yeah,
that's my last one anyway for that.
Okay, well, all right. So actually, do you know what? I will segue into the next topic.
Go
so
for it.
Now we're going to talk about games that we wish would have a sequel that currently don't, and currently possibly don't even have one planned. Obviously, these are opinions, so don't get mad.
Yeah, don't get upset with us too
but
much.
I'm going to kick things off. I'm not going to go too deep into it because we spoke about it. I think it was episode 2, maybe 1. I can't remember now. It's over a month ago. That's mad. It's Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, that's my first one as well.
It says it all, doesn't it? It's the only thing I fear is they make a sequel and it sucks.
The thing that I think it would suit more, and I actually looked into the
Battle Royale. Yeah, we know. We got it.
Battle Royale, yes. So imagine a Simpsons Battle Royale, just chaos. And I looked up this to see what other people thought because I didn't really know where to go. And although we have said before we didn't want this to be remastered, like we do and we don't.
Yeah.
For the same reasons, but we won't get into that here. I think why this might suit a sequel more is that, I mean, there's been, when did the first game come out? Like early 2000s.
2011, I want to say.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
2003 rather.
I was gonna say.
I think I've just got 2011 quite like built into my head because you keep going on about games from 2011. So now apparently everything's from 2011.
Everything's 2011. The world's a lie. The world did actually end in 2012.
Yeah, we're all in this simulation. But 2003 that come out.
So how many episodes of Simpsons have there been since then?
God knows. I mean, it's only just stopped, didn't it? So
yeah. So there you go. So I think
they could get good few games out of that.
Yeah. There's so much more content, and I think you could experiment with new characters. Obviously, the original Homer, Marge, Lisa, Bart, and Apu. Apu suddenly, sadly, isn't part of the franchise anymore because snowflakes. He got axed.
Yeah, well, then I mean, admittedly, it was a white guy playing his voice, so.
Yeah, but it just still with it. It's the Simpsons. Like let's move on.
Yeah, I think we've got very conflicting opinions, so let's just. Yeah, but yeah, that is true. Like it's they could easily get a good few games out of it because again, like you said, like characters, like there's so many different characters in the game now, or the franchise, and so many different things have happened, and
yeah,
you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many seasons?
It's 30 something. I think. Yeah.
No, yes, I think there is 30, I believe. Maybe like 31 something.
It's only just ended.
Yeah.
So 32 seasons to be exact.
Jesus. So yeah, there's a lot more they could do now. There's a lot more content you could go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both have that one, so.
Okay, I'll let you take the next one then.
This one's might be a bit obscure, but this kind of came up to me when I was doing research for this episode, and that's Star Wars Republic Commando.
I did see a lot of people calling for that.
It's a very old game. Came out about the same time as Simpsons Hit and Run, and it's a game where you play as a clone trooper during the Clone Wars in the Star Wars universe, and you control a squad. I don't remember the names. There's 4 of them. I can quickly get this up. Boss, Scorcher, Fixer, and Sev were the guys. You were played as Boss.
Okay.
And you could choose to either sort of just play as one guy and let the rest of your squad act independently, or you could go full on tactical and literally go full on with the controlling where you wanted and giving orders to your squad.
Okay.
And it was a really good concept that I don't think they've ever really done in not especially not in Star Wars. And it's quite a unique concept, and the game ended on a pretty big cliffhanger. Where spoiler, I mean it's like a 20-odd-year-old game now. I'm sure I can.
Yeah, I think get away with that.
Say it's the game kind of ends where your squad kind of start dropping one by one.
Right.
And at the end of the game, whatever's left of your squad you go into a room and General Grievous appears, and it's presumed that you're all dead, that he kills you all.
Oh, nice.
But it is never really confirmed, left on a cliffhanger, and I think it would be something really interesting for them to go into. There was something planned for Star Wars Imperial Commando, which was a version where you would control a stormtrooper squad, but it got cancelled with like nothing really to its name.
Right.
So I'd love to see that be made into a sequel.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever will, but I would like to see it.
No, not with the Star Wars games that are coming out.
No.
Or in the work, should I say?
No.
Okay, I've gone with. I'm going to leave my what I would probably call a fan favorite to last. I've only got 3, so my next one is LA Noire. Now, whether I want an LA Noire sequel or just something similar, I thought the concept of LA Noire was brilliant. Like, I love like detective, trying to figure out murder and stuff like that. I think that's really cool, and I would like to see them expand on it.
Yeah.
For its time, it was really cool, like really immersive and really quite not advanced, but it was almost like an open world game
very
with
unique.
different aspects of it. Yeah. There's always
that
meme.
It's very
in
unique.
It,
the detective game.
The doubt meme.
Yeah, it was just like the big meme is like is a game where you have to kind of read subtle facial expressions to see if someone's lying, and the geezer just flat out looks like he's crying.
Just press X for doubt, and I think that could be cool. They could definitely. Imagine, right? They do a sequel, but years later, like now, that'd be really cool.
I think. Well, it was. Spoiler alert: the main character died, didn't he?
I can't actually remember.
I'm sure, yeah, he killed himself to save somebody. Like he flooded, he drowned. So I don't know if they can, unless they want to introduce someone new.
Unless they twisted it and said, oh, he had a son before he died, and his son become a detective like his old man.
Maybe, yeah. Or you do a prequel of how they became officers and detectives.
Yeah, that's a shout. But yeah, I think that could be quite cool.
I'm gonna completely switch up the genres here because we've had enough first-person and third-person shooters, I think, for one day. Even though I'm pretty sure I've got one more. But Diddy Kong Racing for me is one that I've really liked.
One as well.
It's one that I think it could be definitely argued as one of the best kart races in the sort of genre.
Okay.
And I think obviously this came out alongside some of the first early Mario Kart games, and Diddy Kong Racing it had a full-on story mode and a campaign sort of thing to it. And I think that's what kind of, for a while, I think this was above Mario Kart until Mario Kart came out with like Double Dash and Wii that secured its place again. But you could definitely sort of see that it's obviously, I'm trying to think of the words, not like it didn't just copy it, but it took inspiration from Mario Kart for sure. As all of these games in the kart genre will, but it added more. Like you didn't just have a kart, you had like I know there was a plane and a boat. I think you could ride in as well.
Okay.
And add in a story mode, and there were bosses as well that you had to race against. And I would love now, obviously, because Diddy Kong, I don't think Diddy Kong's ever been in Mario Kart.
I wouldn't like to say it. I doubt it.
I don't think he ever has. And the problem is, though, again, with this, it's more likely you'll see Diddy Kong in Mario Kart just because it's Rare made Diddy Kong Racing, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft obviously bought the rights.
Yes.
And on Rare, it's not going to happen, I don't think. But you never know. Anything can happen.
Very true. Yes, that is true. So my final one is one I think a lot of people are going to agree with, and that's Bully.
Yeah, that's one of mine as well. So I'll just chip in with this one.
It was a bit like a toned down GTA.
Yeah, it's
made
not
by
like
Rockstar.
Kill people or anything.
It was just a bit of fun, but there was rumors of a Bully 2, wasn't there?
There has been for so long.
He was in university or something or whatever.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, they could make that work. They could easily make that work.
Yeah. I think, I'd like to see a second one.
Bully was so much fun. I mean, admittedly, I went back and played it. And I platinumed it on the PlayStation.
I think it's hideously underrated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I'd never really played it, and then I gave it a chance. I loved it.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. So yeah, I'd like to see that be remastered. Not remastered, rather have a sequel. You know,
but you have to
extension on his life and whatnot.
Apparently, I've just looked up. Apparently, a sequel was supposedly confirmed by the original composer, but nothing's come of it yet, so we don't know.
So maybe it's just waiting for Rockstar to be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, possibly. I do think we will see this one day.
I think we'll see it after GTA 6. I think.
Oh yeah, it won't be before that now. No.
Because but yeah, Bully. There's not really much again to say about that. It's Bully in it. It's like I said, severely underrated, but a fantastic game, and could do with a bit more, a bit more love for people to realize of how much of a good game it is.
Yeah, I've got two more, but one I'm not going to talk about too long because it's been done by me quite a few times. I've mentioned this a lot, and that's Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And it's a game.
It's going to be on there.
Yeah, it's a game as well that I do think will get a sequel. I don't think this is like completely off the realms. Like the rest of my list is pretty much probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So this one I think will. So I'm not going to go on too much, but again, I think the best Souls game ever made for me, and very unique sort of. It's a very gothic sort of style that spread kind of. Stayed away from the medieval style of Dark Souls and gave you new mechanics like rally system, which allows you to regain lost health after being hit if you're aggressive. And I in Dark Souls, I don't like shields in Dark Souls. I'm very much more of like either a dual wield or a role player rather than blocking behind a shield. So I like the fact that Bloodborne doesn't have shields and you have the gun instead.
Okay.
So I'd love to see it again.
You have to rely on parrying and stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. It's a lot more skill based than the others, which I like. So I think this one. I'm not going to go on about this because I do think we will see one for this.
I think with Demon Souls, the way they've gone with that, like that franchise isn't dead yet. So I do think that.
Oh, not at all. No,
bring back Bloodborne, considering it was went down very, very well. So.
Yeah, and the last one again, I don't need to go on too much about this as we did. I don't remember if it was last episode or the one before. No, it wasn't last. It was one before, episode 4. That's Half-Life.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to, but again, I can't go on about it because I know for a fact that I don't think this is ever happening. Well, I can't say I know for a fact because I don't, but let's be honest, it's not coming. But it Half-Life revolutionized sort of not first-person shooters because it's not really a shooter game at all. It's more first-person adventure game, and it completely changed the industry. I think with that sort of thing, it introduced one of the most known weapons in history of the gravity gun.
Yeah, that's in Gmod and everything on it as well.
Yeah, and it brought in, I mean, Gordon Freeman's one of the most recognizable characters in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think physics as well was a big thing with Half-Life that hadn't really been done before that, where you can use physics to solve puzzles and things, and physics is a big part of the game. So if you like weigh something down, it will actually weigh it down and things like that. And
yeah, it's definitely an interesting take.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a development because we never really know what happened after Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And I would like to see a sort of conclusion or a resolution to Gordon and Alex's story. And I know we had a Half-Life Alex, but I guess that's VR only.
Yeah.
But I really do hope that Valve do learn how to counter 3 at some point.
Maybe one day.
Maybe, but that's it from me, I think. I don't think I've got anything else to add.
Yeah, I think I am done too. We can start wrapping up if you
go for it.
request, because I believe this one's been a long episode. I think
this one has gone quite a
while. But okay, so now we can get the boring bit out of the way, and then you can go on and enjoy your lives.
Shameless plug time.
Not have to listen to us. So check us out on YouTube, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for future content. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, which you can check out on our site, which is hstp.co.uk. Just to reiterate that's hstp.co.uk. All our episodes go live at 6 p.m. GMT on Sundays, and clips go live on YouTube on Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. also. These are the things that we deem to be the best parts of the show, just for you people that don't have an hour to sit and listen. Make sure you follow us on socials, Twitter and Instagram at @HitStartToPlay. Make sure that you join the giveaway, which will, I think, have 2 days left when this episode goes live. That'll be on the Twitter. I'm sure you can find that. It's a gleam.io link. It's been posted everywhere. Make sure you join the giveaway. We're giving away a month's subscription to Discord Nitro. We'll be looking at doing more giveaways in the future. It's pretty much just to say thank you to you guys, because the support has been phenomenal for this.
Yeah, we've had some really good support for how little time we've been doing it.
Absolutely. So
thank you.
It's been a warm response, and I think I can speak for both me and Ben and say thank you very much.
Absolutely.
But that's all from me. If there's anything you'd like to add,
I'm sure you just mentioned this, but the Discord is actually starting to get a community going, so do feel free to join that. It is down below and on Twitter, so wherever you look, we will have the Discord link somewhere.
Yeah, pop in, say hello. I'm in there most of the time. You're in there most of the time. Feel free to add us. Just any questions you've got, Discord's the best place. Discord or Twitter. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you very much for listening yet again, and we will see you next week.
Stay safe.
Yes, take care, everyone, and goodbye.
Goodbye.